Yep, we are finally here. The podcast is here. We were supposed to do it about 3 to 4 years ago, but we said we wanted to make the 5-year marriage mark. And now we're here, year 6, and I think we're at a comfortable space. Been through some seasons and some...
I just can't believe we're doing this.
I can't believe you convinced me to do this. That's what I got going on. I think people are gonna be blessed, and I'm excited, and I'm sure you're excited. And this is something that's gonna definitely impact lives, make some changes.
Excited to see what the Lord's gonna do with us, and let's do this.
Let's do this podcast in full effect. And so this is, we're new to this thing. I'm used to talking to people.
You're the conversationalist.
I'm the conversation.
I'm the advice giver. Answer questions.
The rebuttals, the great answer, the wisdom. That's you. So, but we're going to figure this out. You know what I'm saying? So, let's see here. Start with, what do you feel like? How do you feel today?
I feel...
Besides the care for the
I feel a little nervous. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna act like I got this. I'm a little nervous, but we're gonna do this. I feel like we could start more or less with who are we? Like, why are we here?
Yeah, why are we here? Well,
who are we first? Let's go to that. I think that's important.
Let's keep it simple. I am a preacher, millennial preacher from the Bronx.
All right.
Mentor. Husband, father of 2. My name is Reggie. I thought it would be Reggie at the beginning. See, I didn't even say Reggie at the beginning. Reggie is my name. I'm a minister on Sundays.
Yes.
Actually, every day I'm a minister.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a minister at my church, Abundant Life, and a youth director for Young Life. So that's a part of me. But the things that are important is I'm a young black dude from the Bronx that survived many traps that were set. No, I didn't come from a broken home, but doesn't mean that I didn't have to bump into some broken places to be where I'm at today. And so I just hope that, me introducing myself will help somebody else. And let's hear a little bit about yourself.
All right. So, my name is Kianna. And I am first before anything. I am a child of God.
She got deep on us.
Jesus Christ is my
Sorry.
Lord and Savior.
Got deep.
Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. Let's get that in there first. Mm-hmm. And I am a teen mom. I'm a mother now, but I was originally a teen mom. And I feel like that is so important and so impactful to touch on because there were so many people that said that I would turn out to be nothing if I had my child, and I feel like having my child at the age of 17, at the tender age of 17, made me everything that I am today. So that is definitely key and important. I am a wife. Mm-hmm. I am an educator. Good wife. Yeah. Okay. You're just trying to make me sound on the camera when you're telling the truth. All right, good wife. Okay, good wife. And I'm an educator. I work for the Department of Education, and I would definitely say that I wouldn't say I'm an influencer, but I am very motivational. I feel like a lot of the things that I've been through in life is not for me, it's for others. Mm-hmm. So I share a lot on social media, and I've definitely impacted many with my testimonies that I've had throughout the years. For sure.
I like, your attitude towards being a teen mom, but I really wasn't there to experience you being a teen mom because I was outside, who I was.
Right, because Mikey's not yours. Let's get that. Yeah, so my 18-year-old.
We'll get to that. So, since I didn't get to sit down with you and experience you being a teen mom, mm-hmm. Tell me the world, tell me experiences, tell me life being a teen mom.
It was probably one of the most challenging, most rewarding things I think that I've ever, or title that I think I ever could hold, more than anything, because here it is, I'm growing up and my son, I felt like was growing up with me. I'm trying to figure out my life. what I'm doing, like how I'm balancing. I'm just graduating I was actually pregnant in my 12th grade year. So I'm pregnant in high school. So how am I navigating going into this new adulthood with a new baby? I just felt like this is a lot. Like, like it was very challenging to say the least. But it was very empowering and motivating for me because I felt like it really pushed me to a place of having no choice but to succeed and win because I had to do it for somebody else, not just for myself. So yeah, so basically like being a teen mom also definitely framed my mind and my goals and everything for me to just have to get serious about life pretty early. So for me, I just always have faith that I would find my person, and I wouldn't have to do motherhood alone. So, yeah, I even have a tattoo. It's funny that I said faith. Like, I have a tattoo here on my ring finger that I got in faith that I would find a husband. So, yeah, I kind of knew that that's what I definitely wanted. And, yeah, by the grace of God, I was blessed with that blessing of marriage. I don't think everybody.
No, everybody doesn't really survive,
Mm-hmm.
those type of, I'm not going to say challenges, those type of situations of being a teen mom. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people feel like, life is over. I'm just gonna, be what my situation, what the outcome of my situation, what it pans me out to be,
Right.
opposed to thinking, all right, what is gonna be the greater good out of this whole situation?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so here it is now. And it's funny. It's a very low percentage of women that are teen moms that are actually married and actually that are successful. So you're you're statistically showing. So you're actually one of those ones that actually can say, I'm a survivor. Our what for what we're doing today, because everything has a what,
Mm-hmm.
is just to show people how to be aligned with Christ spiritually, personally,
Yes.
and even emotionally. And a lot of those aspects, a lot of people don't teach people how to be aligned with Christ in that way,
And also how I feel like how the experiences that we had, like
Yeah.
how it all intertwined
Yes.
and how we feel like the whole purpose of, or how, not purpose, but more so like why we persevered is because
Yes,
of that
absolutely.
spiritual and that whole mental like development and growth through Christ is
Yes.
really how we even here to be qualified or feel like we can share our testimony and our story.
And showing people like how to deal with conflict.
Yep.
Like Christ will help you with conflict.
Mm-hmm.
We always look at him from a blessing way. We always looking at his hand and
Mm-hmm.
always looking at, Jesus, you can bless me with a house, bless me with a car. But we keep forgetting that the most important thing about Christ was conflict. And he actually dealt with conflict,
Right.
For us, for humanity, because he had to somewhat cause conflict for them to crucify him.
Right.
So,
And I like that you said that because I feel like a lot of times in life we look at like we look for God's hand and not his heart. Like,
Yeah.
so it's just like more so like when you're going through trials and tribulations in
Yeah.
life, like you need someone to hear your heart, like in those
Yeah.
moments. Like, it's like, I need you to hear my heart. I need to, like, my heart is hurting. Like, this is what I'm feeling. So to like seek God for his heart because like through those trials and through life, your heart is like very important. So not always looking for like the hand and the blessing because it's like if your heart ain't right, like what is the hand and what's the blessings in life?
And that's the thing, and learning how did Jesus deal with conflicts, and once you learn how he dealt with conflict, you'll learn that in your marriage, you'll learn that in your personal life, you'll learn that from an emotional standpoint. So what we try to do is in this podcast, I'm just hoping that we help people get conflict resolutions.
Right.
Like, how do I deal with everyday conflicts that I deal with? How do I deal with me still having worldly desires but wanting to walk deeper with Christ? How do I deal with being single and looking for Mr. Right when I'm still somewhat attracted to, Mr. Wrong?
Right.
What place or what position do we put ourselves in? And we're just hoping because
we could help
where our background came from, I'm coming from that background of being born in the church, being a church boy,
So isn't it crazy how, like, when we think back, like, we're in year 6, so let's go
Yeah.
back, like, to year 1 or year 0, right? Like, a couple of months. It's so crazy how we came from so much conflict to where we are today. So I think that's really key with what you said about conflict. Like, we really came, like, a really, really long way.
Remember the first day I met you? We was in One Oak.
Yeah.
That was a club. It's probably a little before your time. We was in One Oak and I threw a party. I was a little fake party promoter back then.
Yeah.
And I
was
was
a
in the
party
bit
girl.
of and I was outside, working in the music industry, with aspirations to do those things. And I met you, and I was a little messy. I had a little bit of a situation, and I was like, yo, you was checking me out though. You was
Yeah.
checking me out.
I-
Pulled up. and
Not that I pulled
your
up.
friend was like, yo, you cute. And I was like, yeah, who she talking about? She was like, Kianna. And I'm like, Kianna? Because I remember you from MySpace. MySpace, we was on your fake model thing that you was doing.
Okay.
And I remember seeing you and I was like blown away. And I'm like, you know what?
So you basically were saying, like, the very beginning, it was conflict.
It was conflict because
Yeah.
I had a conflict.
Right.
And I didn't want to bring that drama to your life.
Yes.
So you see, I had to make sure I shut that down.
Yes.
And then we end up.
God help us. He helped us.
He helped us because I had a lot of drama going on because at that space, I wasn't where I am at today.
Right.
I was still trying to find myself and have those little worldly desires. And we kept, for some reason, we kept revisiting and bumping into each other.
And it's so funny, right? Because we met in that world and I didn't even know that you was a church boy.
Nah.
So let's talk about that. Like, you being a church boy. Like, I was like, he's a church boy? I was calling you pastor before you was even a minister or a preacher. I was like, this pastor, you was in my phone as pastor. So let's talk about that. The conflict of just, I guess, the two different worlds. Like, I was like, not a church girl. Like, I knew God, I knew church, but I was not like in it like how you was. So that was a little bit
different. Yeah. Well, for me, even though I was in church, my heart and mind was still somewhere else. I was still what we call today outside. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like rebellious. I was very young. I tried the whole church thing. It was like, but I felt like I was doing it for my family. I was doing it because I was born and raised, and I just wanted to see, what the world could offer. You seeing your friends with chains, cars, and looking like they're having a good old time.
So basically, you telling the people that there's hope.
There's hope.
There's hope.
Yes.
Okay. That's hope.
There's hope. We're gonna get there to the hope part.
We knew each other for a really long time.
Yeah.
We had that type of relationship where, like, and it's funny that we're married now because I remember you always texting me like, I'm sending the divorce papers. I ain't hear from you in such and such time. And I used to be like, yo, this boy is crazy. But it's so funny, like, how that happened and we really are husband and wife now today. But nonetheless, we knew each other for a really long time.
Should we shout out the people that
And
introduced us? Shout out to John
Shout
Gray and
out
Sarita.
Sarita, we love y'all. Thank y'all.
Thank
we
y'all.
here.
Yeah.
Started. Hey, like John Gray's book is right there, right? But yeah, no. So basically, we had that relationship. We was always talking back and forth, and I don't know, just something about you that we just couldn't lose contact. We always was around each other. So in 2000, I remember it was like 2015. I was transitioning I was working in the Department of Education, but I was like an assistant teacher, like a para, and I was going to be a teacher, and I was in a very, very, toxic situation. And you was like my outlet. Like, we would talk and we was like friends, and you was just super supportive. And I remember, and I'm just so grateful for that friendship that we had. And you was like, you don't have to be in the situation. Like, you can leave the situation. I will support you in any way that I can as you make this transition. And I just want to say thank you because you came with that cake. You was like, saving the day. laughing. I was like, he's saving it there. No, but God really sent you. It was truly God sent.
It
yes,
was God sent. Because it was pure. Because you really needed a friend.
And yeah, you always was my friend.
I was
like,
a friend. And
we never really was on that type of time. Like we liked each other, but it was just always like not the right time. And I just love how God preserved our relationship because He knew that if we were to get together at that time, it probably wouldn't be where we are right now.
Like, I really love that, we started as friends. Our generation, millennials, we believe in being friends first. Before this generation, I don't know what they believe in, but we'll learn them because we have children.
Yes.
So we have to learn them, and that is part of our occupation.
Right.
So that's the one thing I love about us is we put our friendship first, and it led to marriage. And a lot of people, they can't say that.
That friendship was that firm. Like
it's
that
the foundation, that we had. And we had a no judgment zone. Mm-hmm. And even though I did come to you a little premature with my walk and things like that, you didn't really hold that against me. Mm-hmm. But it was like you said, it was our friendship. We knew each other. We knew each other's problems. Mm-hmm.
And then look, that's important, y'all. Being friends is so important. Like, I think that is the key foundation. So this is why, and that's why I feel like the friendship is so important. And this is why, and the reason why I say friendship is more important before I even go into, like, I want to talk about why we're doing this podcast, but I want to just tell the people how important it is to have friends. I have a friendship and a relationship because there were times in our marriage or in the seasons where we were going through that it was the friendship that kept us going because it wasn't like I was like head over heels for you or you was head over heels for me, but it was like, I gotta call my friend, I gotta talk something like something's happening, like this is my friend.
And you need that laugh or you need that person that just knows you.
Exactly. But I feel like the reason why, and it ties into why we're doing this podcast. We're doing this podcast because we want to be the people
that we wish
that we wish we had, right? Like, I wish I had an outlet. I wish I had a source of something that I can go to when I was going through what I was going through. We just had each other and God. And I mean, I'm not saying that wasn't enough, but it's always good to hear someone speak from a first-hand account or just to be like, wow, like that's true. Like, I'm going through this, and being a Christian, it's hard.
And I'll be honest, I don't always like the advice they're giving people today.
Yeah,
I think they're giving them a lot of things that don't really help them be sustainable, long term, communicating, friendship. I think that
they're not teaching them how to deal with stuff.
There's
it's like,
things
like let's put this Band-Aid on and be like, just be done with it, just move on and just forget about them. And it's like
guys needing to learn how to be able to show love with not just gifts and bags and sneakers and shoes, but really be able to show love from a emotional standpoint. How do I deal with her sore spots and how do we deal with people's traumas and conflict. I know we don't like to say the conflict word,
but just like the trials,
the trials, because
that we gonna face.
If you
life, and then for me, I feel like it's so important that we have this podcast and we do this against even my feelings. Like, I feel like I ain't never did no podcast. I don't know. I'm not really good being in front of a camera, but I think it's just so important that we have these conversations on camera, that we talk about our experiences, because I do believe that we don't go through, obviously, things for ourselves. We go through for other people, and just helping people and being able to be that outlet and that source and being able to help save souls through conversation. Because honestly, this world needs saving. Mm-hmm. We're going to keep the Bible at the center, God at the center, but we definitely want to, our testimony is a test, and I don't think that there's no testimony without a test, and we've been through a lot, and we kind of passed it. I think. What you think?
I agree.
All right. Well, I just want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and thank you for just caring enough to, I guess, tune into what we talking about. I love y'all. And I love y'all with the love of the Lord. And it's Kianna.
She's so cute.
And Kianna.
My name is Reggie. I love you guys.
And we are the Ousley.
The Ousley. Meet the O's, baby.